Emergency rescue is a procedure of moving a victim from unsafe place to safe place. Indications for emergency rescue are the following: 1. Danger of fire or explosion. 2. Danger of toxic gases. 3. Serious traffic hazard. 4. Risk of drowning. 5. Danger of electrocution. 6. Danger of collapsing wall. The objectives of the first aider are: 1. To ensure open airway and to administer artificial respiration if needed. 2. To control severe bleeding. 3. To check for injuries. 4. To immobilize injured. 5. To arrange for transportation. 6. To avoid subjecting the victim to unnecessary disturbances. The selection in methods of transfer depends on the following: 1. Nature and severity of injury. 2. Size of the victim. 3. Physical capabilities of the first aider. 4. Number of personnel and equipment available. 5. Nature of evacuation route. 6. Distance to be covered. 7. Sex of the victim. Last consideration. Pointers to be observed during transfer. 1. Victim's airway must be maintained open. 2. Hemorrhage is controlled. 3. Victim is safely maintained in correct position. 4. Regular check of the victim's condition is made. 5. Supporting bandages and dressing remain effectively applied. 6. The method of transfer is safe, comfortable, and as speedy as circumstances permit. 7. The victim's body is moved as one unit. 8. The taller first aiders stay at the head side of the victim. 9. First aiders/bearers must observe ergonomics in lifting and during transfer of victim.
For today's video, we are going to share with you the different procedure on how to move the victim using the emergency rescue transfer for us to be able to move our victim from the unsafe place to safe place. So the procedure that we will be presenting to you right now is the one-man assist to walk. So usually when it comes to one-man assist to walk, the victim is conscious. So we are going to ask permission first to the victim in order for us to move him or her to the safe place. Okay. So the procedure is we're going to tap twice on the shoulders victim. Hey, 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 are you okay? Hey, 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 are you okay? So sir, I'm going to help you. We are going to move. We're going to move you to this safe place. The first thing is we need to assess the victim's position. Always remember or always assume that the victim suffers from an injury na hindi natin nakikita. So the lower extremities and the upper extremities. So for us to be able to move the victims properly, we need to handle them tactfully. The first thing is we need to make sure that the victim is on his lying position. How to move the victim? We're going to move the lower part first to proper position. Okay? So in handling the victim, you need to make sure that you are going to have contact with his or her garments. Dito sa ilalim at saka sa likod. So we're going to place it here. We're going to move. And then the other one, other leg. Okay. Tutuwid lang natin siya. Pag nakadapa siya or nakatagilid, kailangan yung isang paa ay yan. Then we're going to move to his upper body part. So yung ating tuhod will always be placed in line with his shoulder. For this one, we're going to move his arm up over his head, and then we're going to move him on his lying position. supporting the neck always. Okay? So with this one, going to move, lift his leg up in preparation for the standing position. Then we need to separate his leg. Make sure that it will stay upright. Then moving to his arm, we're going to place his arm over his chest, cross, and then the other one, this one. Then you're going to move on the head part of the victim. Okay? Shoulder. Then after that, you need to make sure that you are going to insert your arm on the shoulder of the victim, holding the arm of the victim on his chest, preparing for the sitting position. You're going to push, serve, tatayo kayo, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Okay, dito, side. Support his body with your leg on his back, and then you're going to move to the victim's back. This will prepare you to stand the victim. Then the next procedure is you're going to insert your arm on the victim's arm over his chest, both arms. Then this will be the preparation for you to move the victim in his standing position. Sir, tatayo tayo. 1, 2, 3, up. Okay, so you are going to push the weight of the victim forward. And then always remember that your leg, right leg, will always be placed at the middle of, or in between the victim's leg. This will secure your victim's weight to make sure that this one will be on his balance. Then after this, you're going to move the victim's arm on his right side or left side for you to be able to insert yourself. Hindi natin kinakailangan itaas yung kamay above the shoulder. That is because we need to assume that the victim suffers from a broken bone of his arm. Then the next procedure is you're going to insert yourself. Tayo ang bababa, the victim's arm. Move yourselves on his side, and then, okay, so this will be your position. Then the other arm will be released. Kukunin natin yung side ng pants ng ating victim, and then your right leg will be placed on the left side or the left heel of the victim's foot. Then we are ready to move the victim. Ang una natin gagawin, tayo yung hahakbang with our left foot forward. Small steps only. Maliliit lang. Okay? Then after that, we're going to pull the victim's right leg through his pants, move it in front, and then we're going to push his left leg forward. And then it will follow. Left, pull up, push. Left step, pull, push. Okay, so this is the procedure on how to assist a victim using one-man assist to walk. Okay, so the second figure for the emergency rescue transfer is what we call carry in arms. Okay, so let us assume that we have already fixed the victim on his sitting position. The same procedure that we will be using from the lying position of the victim. So ganito ang gagawin natin. Naiayos na natin siya on his sitting position. So we're going to assume that this procedure was done earlier. On this position, insert. The next thing is you are going to help or you're going to assist the victim to stand. Okay? So, ready sir? In 3, 2, 1, tatayo tayo. Ready? And 1, 2, 3. Ayun! Okay, same procedure with this one. You need to make sure the victim's weight will be placed against the rescuer. So with this position, moving on with the second figure of the carrying arms, we're going to move one arm of the victim to the side. Again, try not to have the victim's arm placed above his shoulder. Okay? And then, the next procedure is you're going to make sure that you are to have your knee kneel down and the other one will be placed to have the victim or to sit or for the victim to sit on. The next one is you're going to insert yourself and then kneel down. And then papaupuin natin yung ating victim on the other leg. Sir, po kayo? Okay. So with this position, the next one is the rescuer needs to make sure that the arm of the victim will be placed on a comfortable position. And then the other one, the next procedure is the rescuer will be placing himself on a squat position, just like this, squat position. Then you're going to insert your arm on the victim's leg. Then you're going to hold the victim's pants. Then carry. 1, 2, 3, up. So this is how you're going to do the arm carry for the victim. So pwede na natin siyang ilakad at i-transfer. So the next emergency rescue procedure is what we call the backstrap carry. So let us assume that the victim is placed on his standing position, holding the victim's arm sideways or sideward, and then your other arm, your right arm, will be placed on the hips of the shoulder. Now, the difference between this one is when you insert yourself, you need to make sure that you will be placing yourself as a rescuer in front of the victim. Okay, and then try to pull the arm upward as you move in front of the victim. Okay, so as you prepare yourself to insert in front of the victim, you need to make sure that you are going to place your knees slightly bent. So the next procedure is to insert. Move yourself in front of the victim, having your arms pulling the victim's arms upward. Then you need to make sure knees are slightly bended, the other leg is extended backwards. And then you need to make sure that you are going to place yourselves in front of the victim with knees are slightly bended, pulling the arms of the victim upward, and then you're going to have the victim's arm in front. Then you're going to get the other arm with this one cross in front of the rescuer. Then you're going to place your arm above the victim's elbow, and then you're going to start to carry the victim. Okay, with this position, try not to extend your leg or fully extend your leg in front. Okay. Okay, so the next figure that we are going to demonstrate to you is what we call the piggyback carry. So just like the other one, the backstrap carry, the same procedure. So let us assume that the victim is already placed on his standing position. So you're going to have his arm extended on a shoulder level, and then the same procedure to insert yourself is to place yourselves in front of the victim. Okay, insert, ready, and this one, making sure that you are in front of the victim. Then the next one is you're going to have the arms of the victim move downward. Kukunin natin yung right leg of the victim. Yung kamay natin ay nasa ilalim. And then, the next one is kukunin natin yung kamay ng victim to safely secure the victims on your back. Then, you're going to start to carry the victim. The next procedure is kukunin natin yung other leg. Again, inserting the arm. Papabot natin yung kamay. So this one will secure and lock your victims on your back. So usually this figure is used to move the victim on a longer distance. Ito yung ginagamit natin pag malayuan. So the victim is safely secured on the back. Kahit ma-out of balance tayo, hindi malalaglag yung victim natin. Okay? So this is used on a long distance travel to move the victim to a safe place. Now, to dismount the victim on your back, slowly release one arm and place one leg on the ground and then release the other one, holding the arms of the victim and then placing yourselves to the side. Okay, so the next figure for us to demonstrate for today is what we call the fireman's carry. So let us assume again that the victim is already placed in his standing position, holding the victim's on waist and extending the victim's arm. Now for this procedure, you need to make sure that you're going to place as a rescuer in front of the victim, facing the victim. So with this one, you need to change grip from left to right to hold the victim's arm in place. So the next procedure is, you're going to insert, you're going to move with your arms, changing grip, left to right, and then placing yourself in front of the victim, facing the victim, and then change grip. You're going to pull the victims down. You need to make sure that the knees are slightly bended. You need to insert your arms in between the victim's legs, pulling the victim's arm, and then placing the weight of the victim on the rescuer's position. Then you're going to have the victim's arms locked, change grip again from right to left. Then you're going to start moving closer to the victim in order for you to lift the victim upward. So this is how you're going to carry the victim using the fireman's carry. Then on the dismount, slowly you're going to place the victim close to the ground, change the grip, placing the victims on a standing position again. Okay? Okay, so the next figure that we're going to demonstrate for today is what we call the fireman's drag. And then the other following figures are used to move the victim from a burning or from a fire. So as we all know that when it comes to fire, there is a certain height of the smoke or air that we can breathe close to the floor. So with this one, this is what we call the fireman's drag. So the victim is unconscious for this particular figure. The first thing to do is you need to place the arms of the victim on his chest, both arms. Then with the use of our triangular bandage or other same materials, cloth, rope that you can tie on the shoulder, on the arms of the shoulder, on the arms of the victim, just to ensure that the arms will be safely secured. This will be used to drag the victim away from the fire. Okay, so the procedure is to tie the victim's arm. You need to insert. Okay, first you need to have the triangular bandage fold into half. So with this one, you're going to insert the triangular bandage on the victim's arm, and with the loop, you're going to insert the other end inside the loop, and then you're going to have it securely tighten and then separate the end on opposite direction. Then you are going to make a square knot to secure the arms of the victim. Okay, as the victim's arms are being securely tied up, the next procedure is you're going to place yourself as the rescuer directly above the victim, putting yourselves on this position, and then you're going to have the victim's arm placed on your shoulder by means of inserting yourselves here, and then start rolling away from the fire. So as long as the victim is comfortable, you need to move away from the fire. So this is how you're going to use the fireman's drag. So the next figure that we're going to demonstrate for today is will be used when it comes to removing the victim on a burning place. Okay, so this is what we call a blanket drag. Okay, so if the victim is already on his lying position, we need to make sure that we are going to insert the blanket properly. So let us try to move the arm of the victim above his head in a comfortable position, and then the other one will be placed here, and then the feet will be moved on a cross position. Yan. Then you're going to move the victim on his side to the direction of the rescuer, placing his body or weight on the rescuer side. Then you're going to move the blanket closer to the victim as possible. Okay? So once the blanket is moved close to the victim, you're going to place the victim on the lying position again. Then you're going to pull the blanket to place the victim on the blanket. Okay, so with this, you're going to place yourself in front or on the head part of the victim, moving the blanket close to the victim's head. This will help you drag the victim move away from the burning fire. Then the rescuer will be placing himself on a squat position, placing one leg at the back. This is to sweep any object on the direction of the pool. So you need to sweep first to make sure that the pot is clear, then pull. Then move backward, sweep. For any obstruction, pull, sweep, and pull. So this is how you're going to move the victim from a burning place using a blanket drag. Okay, so the next figure that we are going to demonstrate for you today in our emergency rescue transfer is all about shoulder drag. So these are used by firemen to extricate victims on a burning establishment or a burning house. So the first thing is that we need to do is we need to make sure that the victim is safe to be transferred. So the procedure is you're going to have the victim position. We need to position the victim on a sitting position, and then we're going to do the shoulder drag. So for this one, shoulder drag, we need to have the arm of the victim placed on his chest. Same procedure. Then we're going to put the victim in the sitting position. So we're going to insert again. Remember that when it comes to this one, inserting your arm, it is the neck that we are concerned most about. We need to protect the neck of the victim. Okay? So you're to hold the arms para hindi siya wala sa position, and then we're going to have the victim placed on the sitting position. In count of 3, 1, 2, 3, and this one, sitting position. And then you're going to place yourself to the back of the victim. Then the next procedure is you're going to insert your arm on the arm of the victim. So in this one, the next is you're going to place yourself, the rescuer, on a squat position, placing one leg at the back to sweep yung ating dadaanan, searching for any obstacle or obstruction dun sa dadaanan ng paghila natin. Okay? So once the path is cleared, we are to proceed with the drag motion. Again, after the sweep, you need to drag, pull the victim slowly, and then sweep, pull, and sweep, pull. So this is the shoulder drag that are being used when it comes to extricate the victim on a burning establishment. Okay. So the next figure to demonstrate to the class is all about the foot drag. So same thing with the blanket, the shoulder drag. This is used by the fireman to extricate the victim on a burning establishment. So the only difference is we do not need to put the arm of the victim on his chest or to tie it up with any triangular bandage or the same material. We need to place the arm of the victim extended upward. This way, the other one, extended upward. Okay? So bakit dapat nasa taas? Para hindi siya ma-caught up dun sa mga gamit na nasa paligid. So remember that when it comes to this situation, maraming gamit ang nagkalat dun sa path na dadaanan natin. So the arm should not be caught on any object para mapigilan yung pag-move natin sa victim. So pag nilagay niyo dito yung kamay ng victim, at you start dragging the victim to extricate the victim or to transfer the victim from the burning place, the elbow might caught any object along the way. Or kung hindi naman natin siya tinalian, pwede siyang lumaglag dito sa gilid at sumabit din dun sa mga gamit na nasa paligid. So that is why the arm of the victim, when it comes to foot drag, are being placed above the head of the victim. And then the drag will be, the next one is you're going to place yourself as the rescuer on the foot of the victim. So same procedure as squat position. One leg will be placed at the back of the rescuer. This will be used to sweep any object along the path of the drag. So the drag will be on or above the ankle of the victim. So once the sweep is being done, you're going to drag the victim slowly and then sweep again, drag and sweep, or to ensure that there is no object blocking the way on the drag that is being used. So the next figure that we are about to demonstrate is what we call the hand assolator. So as we can see, the victim is lying on the floor unconscious. So we will be checking the consciousness of the victim. And then we are going to move the victim on the sitting position. And we will be assisted by two rescuers. So this is two-man carry. Considered as two-man carry. So, since we have two rescuers, they need to move in one motion or in synchronization just to make sure that the victim will be safe and secure when it comes to the transfer. Okay? So, the victim or the rescuer natin, so dapat yung mas mataas yung nasa head part. Nasa head part. Kung sino yung mataas, check muna natin kung sino yung mataas. Sino yung mataas yung dalawa? Okay, palit kayo ng pwesto. Okay, so palit ng pwesto. As always, that when it comes to transferring the victim or the patient, you need to make sure that yung pinakamataas is always be placed on the head part of the victim. Okay, so they will be moving the victim separately. So the other one will be concentrating his attention on the leg part or the lower extremities, and the other one will be moving on with the upper extremities. Okay? So they need to place the victim on the lying position first. So okay, so they will be moving the victim's arms and legs. And then the next one is they will be pulling the victim towards their direction to place the victim on the lying position. Okay, so after securing the lying position of the victim, the lower extremities will be placed. The arm, aslang. Okay. So yung ating tuhod be placed in contact with one another. And ready to insert. The victim will be placed on his sitting position. Ready? And 1, 2, up. The rescuer will be placing himself at the back of the victim on a squat position. And they will be preparing to have the victim placed on the standing position. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, up. Okay? So make sure that the leg of the rescuer on the back side of the victim will be placed on or in between the leg of the victim. This is to have the balance of the victim secure. Then they will be preparing to insert arm. Okay? So the arm will be extended on the side, and then the other arm will be extended on the side, and then they will be inserting themselves into the victim's arm. After this, they will be preparing on the kneeling position. Ready? Kneeling position, 1, 2, kneel. And then they will be instructing the victim to sit on their lap. Ready? Pupo kayo, sir. Okay. Then they will be preparing the procedure on carrying the victim. The next one is to command to show their hands. Ready? Show me your hand. Salam. Okay, this is hand as a leader. And then ready? Ready to insert?
Ready to insert?
Insert.
Insert.
Okay. Then sir, they will be transferring the victim on their hand. Squat position. Lift. Up. This will be used to transfer the victim on a much longer distance, since they will be carrying the weight of the victim on their side. Okay? Now, to dismount the victim, they will be preparing to going back to the kneeling position. Kneeling position, ready? And kneel. And then they will be transferring the weight of the victim on their lap. And they will be moving to the standing position. Release and stand. Step tayo. 1, 2, 3, tayo. Okay. So this is how you're going to dismount the victim. The next figure is what we call the forehand sit. So the same thing with the hand as a leader, we will be using two rescuers to transfer the victim and to lift the victims up. So with this one, let us assume that the victim is placed on the sitting position and ready to lift. Okay, so for this position, one rescuer will be placed in front of the victim and the other one will be placed at the back of the victim. Remember that when it comes to this one, the tallest rescuer will always be placed at the back of the victim. Okay? So with this position, they will be preparing to have the victim on their standing position. Ready? And placing the victim on the standing position. Ready? And up. So they will be pushing the victim to make sure that the victim will be placed on the standing position. So with this position, they will be placing their arm on the hips of the victim. And then they will be preparing to extend the victim's arm on the side. And then they will be inserting themselves on the victim's arm. Ready? Insert. And ready to kneel. Kneel down. Okay, lulubog na. And then, after that, they will be instructing the victim to sit on their lap.
Ma'am, sit po kayo sa lap.
Okay, pinaupo na po. And then, after that, they will be instructing the victim to hold on their shoulder.
Ma'am, hawakan niyo po. Yung shoulder po namin.
Okay. So, pinahawak na since the victim is conscious, so they will be needing the assistance of the victim in this position. Then after that, they will be proceeding on the procedure on how to transfer the victim on their hand. Ready? Show me your hand. The command is show me your hand. Okay. So, on this position, the victim will be transferred on the hands of the rescuer. Release. And the next command will be ready to insert. Insert. And then they will be instructing the victim to move on their arms, transfer the victim on their arms.
Ma'am, lipat po kayo.
Lilipat ang victim. And then they will be preparing to stand. Ready to stand, squat, and lift. So on this position, the victim is already placed on the rescuer hand and then ready for transfer. Okay, so lakad tayo ng bahagya. Ready? And lakad. Walk. Okay. So pag maglalakad tayo dito, ang unahin natin pa is outside foot. Then pwede tayong mag-cross. Outside foot and cross. Okay. Try natin. Ready to walk and outside foot, cross. Outside foot, cross. Okay. So this is how you're going to move the victim from the unsafe place to much safer place. And then the next one is we're going to dismount the victim. Again, we will be placing the victim on our lap by placing the rescuer on the kneeling position. Kneeling position. Ready? Kneel. And lilipat na ulit yung victim dun sa kita ng ating mga rescuer. Lipat kayo, ma'am. Upo. And then, the next one is to have the victim or the rescuer on their standing position. Okay, ready to stand and stand up. Okay, so they will be assisting the victim to stand on or to place the victim on the standing position. For the next figure that we are going to show you to demonstrate to you is what we call the 3-man carry in a narrow alley. Okay, so as you can see, we have 3 rescuers. So as always, the tallest rescuer will be placed on the head part of the victim. So with this, let us assume that the victim is already placed on his lying position. So the first movement of the rescuer will be on their kneeling position. So we are going to place ourselves on the kneeling position close to the victim. Both kneeling position. And then we're going to sit on our heel, okay, as close as possible to the victim. Then with this one, we need to make sure that the arms of the victim or arms of the rescuer will be in proper place. So the next procedure is to command to show the hand, the hand to be ready to insert. Okay. So the command is show me your hand. Okay, show me your hand. Then the next one is for us to insert on the victim's body. So the command is ready to insert. Then after that, insert. So we're going to slowly slide our arms on the victim's body. Then after this position, we will be ready to lift the victim and place it on the kneeling position. You need to make sure that the same leg will be placed for the victims to lie on our lap. So right leg tayo and ready to lift on kneeling position. Ready, lift, knee. And then after this, we will be preparing to stand on a squat position. Ready, squat and lift. Okay, so with this position, we are going to clip the victim closer to our body. Ready, clip. And then after this, pwede na kaming lumakad. Left first and go. Left close, left close, left close, left stop. Okay, so going back, right, ready, and right, close, right, close, right, close, right, stop. Then we're going to move the victim or place the victim to the floor. Kneeling position, ready, kneel, down. And slowly, we're going to place the victim on the floor. Ready, and to the floor, 1, 2, 3, down. Okay, so we are done on the narrow alley 3-man carry. Okay, so the next procedure that we are going to demonstrate to you when it comes to emergency rescue transfer is what we call the hammock carry. So same thing as the 3-man narrow alley carry. So the only difference is that the middle rescuer will be placed on the other side of the victim. Okay? So after placing themselves on the proper position, the next one is they will be placing themselves, the rescuer will be placing themselves on the kneeling position close to the body of our victim. Okay, so with this, the arm can be placed on the victim's chest. Cross. Then, after that, the next command will be checking their arms for the ready position. Ready? Show me your arms. Ready? To insert and insert. So at this point, the rescuer will be inserting their arm on the victim's body. Then the next one is they will be lifting the victim on the kneeling position. Ready? Kneeling position, lift, kneeling position. Okay, so after placing the victim on their knee or on their lap, they will be preparing to stand on the squat position. Squat and up, lift. Then they will be moving the victim to the left. Ready? And go. Step, close, and stop. Okay, they will be moving the victim to the right. Ready? And step, close, step, close, step, close, step, close, and stop. They will be placing the victim on the floor, on the kneeling position. Ready? And down. Kneeling position, and then placing the body of the victim on the floor. Down. Slowly. So as you can see, the victim will be moved as one unit for this procedure. So the next rescue procedure that we are going to demonstrate is all about the 4-man carry. So actually this can be done 4, 6, or 8 rescuers. So it depends on the size of the victim. So for the meantime, we will be demonstrating the 4-man carry. So for this position or for this figure, we need to establish first the position of our rescuer. So we need to arrange them from the tallest to the smallest rescuer. As always, we need to place the tallest rescuer on the head part of the victim. And then after that, we are going to divide the rescuer because the other rescuer will be placed on the other side of the victim. So for the proper division of the rescuer, we are going to count 1 and 2. Count.
2. 1, 2.
All number 2 will be on the other side of the rescuer. And then the number 1 will remain on the side of the rescuer. Then after this, we're about to check the arms of the rescuer. And then from your hands, so it will be arranged on an alternating pattern. So on the arms of the rescuer. And down. After that, we're going to move on the kneeling position. Kneel close to the the victim. And then we're going to prepare to insert our arm to carry. Ready? And from your hand, and insert. There you go. Then after inserting the arm, they will be placing the victim on their lap on the kneeling position. Ready? Kneel. Up. Okay. So always support the neck of the victim. Yeah. Support the neck of the victim. Then after this procedure, they will be moving on the squat position to lift. Ready? Squat and lift. Then after this, they will be transferring or moving the victim going to the right side first. Ready? And step, close, step, close, step, close, step, close, step, and stop. They will be moving on the right side. And ready? And step, close, step, close, step, close, step, stop. After that, they will be moving the victim to the floor, again on the kneeling position. Kneel, down, and to the floor, goes down. And that is how you are going to do the 4, 8, and 4, 6, 8 rescuer carry. Okay, so our next figure to demonstrate for today is the 4-man carry using a blanket. So the same procedure, we need to establish the position of our rescuer from the tallest to the smallest. And then the procedure will follow. Yung number 2 sa kabila to have the blanket be inserted on our victims. Okay, ready and go. Back. And then these two will be placing the victim closer to their lap by positioning themselves on the kneeling position. Ready? Kneel down, kneeling, and you're going to move the victim closer to you. Ready? And pull the victim, pull, and insert the blanket close to the victim. And after that, the victim will be placed on the lying position again. Lying position. Then our rescuer will be pulling the blanket slowly. Pulling the blanket. Pull, pull. Pull the blanket. Then, after that, they are going to pull the blanket closer to the victim's side of the body. Then with this, after folding the blanket, they will be ready to lift the victim. In 3, 2, lift. So, they will be ready to move to the left first. Ready and move. 1, 2, 1, 2, and stop. Going to the left or going to the right. Ready and go. Left and stop. Then they will be placing the body of our victim to the floor. Ready and down to the floor, down. Slowly and placing the victim again on the lying position, close or onto the ground. Okay, so for this figure, we are about to create an improvised stretcher. So kung wala tayong commercial stretcher sa bahay or sa lugar natin, we can improvise one. So we all need to have a blanket, of course, as you can see in front, and then we have 2 poles. So for this one, we need to place the bamboo on the blanket, and then we're going to fold the blanket that will cover the bamboo. So in that manner, we are going to have our improvised stretcher. Okay, so number 1 bamboo will be placed on the blanket. Lalagay na natin yung ating isang blanket, yung isang bamboo. Then, susukatin muna natin, tutupi, para meron tayong hawakan. Hawakan dun sa ating gagawing improvised stretcher. And then after that, this end will be folded over the bamboo. Okay, fold the other end of the blanket. And then after that, the next bamboo will be placed on top of the blanket. And then the folded cloth will be moved to the other side. And then the remaining cloth will be moved to cover our bamboo. So this is how you are going to create our improvised stretcher. Now, to test our stretcher, we need to have a volunteer victim. Okay, pasok ang volunteer victim natin. Pasok tayo. So we will be lifting the victim using 4-man carry. Okay? So hawakan na natin yung bamboo natin. Doon tayo sa dulo. Doon tayo sa harap. And ready. And ready. 1, 2, and lift. Okay. So, kahit isa lang tayong kamay, pwede nating i-transfer yung victim. Hindi na siya mahuhulog. Kasi naiipit na ng weight ng victim yung sheet natin that covers the bamboo. Okay, to test, we're going to move and move. 1, 2, 3, go, move. And stop. Now face the other side. Ayo, back. Then move. Move. Then we're going to have our victim placed on the floor. Face each other and move the victim down. Okay, so this is how you create your improvised stretcher. Actually, we can use other materials such as yung ating triangular bandage to tie on the pole, and then yung ating shirt, pwede din natin siyang gamitin to create our improvised stretcher. Okay, so with us today is what we call the commercial military grade stretcher. So in transporting the victim, we have a lot of ways to transport the victim and to carry them to a much safer place. So what we have here is what we call the commercial military grade stretcher. So ito yung ginagamit natin sa pag-transfer ng victim. If we have one, much better. But if wala tayong ganitong klase ng stretcher sa bahay, we can improvise one just as what we have demonstrated a while ago. So for this one, mabibili na natin ito ng yari, ng buo. Okay. So we have the strap of the stretcher that will help mobilize or immobilize the victim para hindi siya gumagalaw. So ganun pa rin, we can use the 4 or 6-man carry here. So of course, we have 2 in front and 2 at the back and then 2 at the middle. So pwede natin siyang gawin ng 6. Okay, we will try to carry or we will try to transport the victim using 6-man carry using our commercial stretcher military grade. Okay, so we need to have our victim lying on our stretcher. Okay, so higa na yung ating victim or patient. We need to secure our victim with the strap. So it is attached to our stretcher. Attached na siya sa ating stretcher. So yan. Kailangan lang natin i-secure. So it will depend on the distance to be covered when it comes to transferring the victim. And then, of course, yung ating lifter or rescuer, kailangan natin ng 6. Napasok na yung 6. So yung dalawa sa gitna, at yung tigda dalawa, sa unahan. Okay. So, doon muna tayo harap. Doon tayo. So, we're going to demonstrate how the lift will commence. So, we are to face our stretcher, face the victim inside, and then ready to kneel down, and then ready to lift, hold the stretcher, and lift. Then face that side. Then that will be the direction of our movement. So pwede din yung nasa side natin na one hand carry lang. Okay, para hindi maipit yung movement natin. Ready? And move. Okay, so para mas madali at mas magaan yung pag-transfer natin, stop. So pwede natin gamitin yung 6-man carry. And then we're going to face on the other side. Face on the other side and move. Okay, and stop. Facing inside. Ready to have our victim move closer to the floor. Kneeling position and down. Okay, so for our last video for today, we are going to demonstrate the use of our spine board. So this is our spine board. So it is made out of plastic, rigid plastic material. So matigas, mabigat din ang bahagya. So this is to have the victim immobilized. So dapat siya ay hindi nagalaw. So yung spine board natin, pantay lang siya. So for this figure, we're going to have our rescuer. We're going to use 6-man carry with the use of the spine board. So this is not the only material that we will be needing kasi we need to strap our victim or our patient tightly on the spine board. So with this, we're going to place our victim on the lying position with our rescuer. Okay? Place yourself on the ready position. Hold our spine board. Spine board natin. Dito. Okay? And then, we are going to place our victim on the recovery position or side lying position. Ready? And kneel down. Kneel. Move closer to the victim. Have the arm of the victim placed on the chest. And then the victim will be pulled closer to our rescuer on the side position. Okay, and then after that, we are going to insert our spine board to lift the victim and transfer the victim on our spine board. Ready? And place, pull, and insert. Have the spine board close to the victim. And then the next material that we will be using is our triangular bandage to strap in our victim. Okay, let us have the strap be ready. At the same time, we will be using a pillow to immobilize and secure the neck, just in case that the victim has a neck injury. So with this one, we're going to roll down our pillow, make it smaller, and then it will be placed on the side of the victim's head before we strap the victim using our triangular bandage. Okay, so hold this one. Head. And this pillow. To secure the head, we need to have our pillow. Strap to the side. the head. This is just to safely secure the neck. Okay. Okay, the other one. After securing the victim and ensuring that our victim is mobilized, so there should be no movement as we transfer the victim using our spine board. Okay, so ready? Then after that, our rescuer will be placed on the kneeling position, kneel down, and then we will be holding our spine board and ready to lift. Kneeling position, squat, and lift. So make sure that the arms are fully extended. So try not to bend your elbow. And then we're going to face on that side. So movement to the side. And okay. We're going to move. And ready, move. 1, 2, and stop. So after that, we're going to move and face on the other side. Face on the other side slowly. And move. 2, go. 1, 2, 3, and stop. Then after that, we're going to bring down the victim on the floor. Ready, and to the floor, go down. That is how you use your spine board if you have an available spine board at your home.